Good evening, Mr. Moore. My name's Kit Oars. I'm a long-time fan. I've read a lot of your books and I've seen a lot of your movies, and I just felt that I should bring something to your attention. The Citizens Commission on Human Rights, CCHR, has taken comments that you've made about the use of psychiatric drugs on children and are using them on their website to promote various films that they have against the psychological and psychiatry industry as a whole. That in itself isn't anything to be worried about, but I felt you should know about the links between the CCHR and the criminal Scientology Organisation. CCHR is basically a front group that tries to spread one of Scientology's base doctrines, and that is psychiatry is the enemy. They consider psychiatry to be the enemy because it threatens their profit margins. Scientology can claim to be the absolute authorities on the mind and on the soul and on the spirit, and obviously anything that comes into conflict with that information or that their version of information they perceive as needing to be attacked. If you do indeed support CCHR and you do indeed support Scientology, that's fine. If you consider yourself to be a Scientologist, that's absolutely fine. I just feel that I need to bring to your attention some of the seedier things that the Scientology Organisation itself is responsible for. The human rights abuse they commit are far too many for me to go into in a short little 10-minute video, but basically I'll give you a brief rundown. You've got the Rehabilitation Project Force. Rehabilitation Project Force is sort of a labour camp for bad Scientologists, for people that have made PR blunders or have been declared suppressive person, that they have done something or interacted with someone who is against the principles of Scientology. They're sent to the Rehabilitation Project Force, which is based globally, but really is centred on Hemet, California, the gold-based building there. In the RPF, these people are forced to work 12-hour days for no pay, under the understanding that they are making amends for mistakes that they've made in the past. Now, Scientology will claim that these people are here voluntarily. In reality, they're there to avoid being kicked out of Scientology and incurring ridiculous amounts of debt, which they call freeloader debt. If you're excommunicated from the church or leave without using the proper channels, you'll fall this debt. Freeloader debt is forced upon you for services that you may have taken and either couldn't afford at the time because you were volunteering to pay for the services, or basically what they claim to be unpaid for services, which a lot of the time are invented in just a way of squeezing last little bit of money out of you before you leave. As if the RPF wasn't enough, they have a children's version of the RPF, the cadet organisation. These kids are destined eventually for the C organisation, which is their paramilitary organisation. These kids sleep in dormitories, up to 25 people living in a dormitory in 3 bunk beds, and are basically subject to similar conditions that you'd expect to find in military school. And they engage in physical labour, 12 hours a day for 5 or 6 days a week, and again, they don't get paid for the privilege. Call it a privilege if you like. These abuses on their own are enough to raise concern, I realise, but I'm going to have to go further and tell you a little bit more. Members of staff of the Church of Scientology, a lot of them work there voluntarily as a way of paying off their course fees. In any rate, these people are paid around $50 a week, living expenses, so to cover things like rent, food, basic hygiene items, toothpaste, shower gel, and their recreation. These people are being paid far below the national minimum wage of even the United States. For doing 80 hours work a week, they receive $50 per week. This is all documented, all the information is available in the links that are placed in the pane. That way. No. Yeah, that way. I always get that wrong. The pane that way. I've placed a couple of links in there to zenitv.com and zenit.net. A lot of these are in sworn affidavits, things that have stood up and held up in court. In addition to these abuses that are going on right now, the Scientology Organisation has been linked to 43 mysterious deaths or disappearances in its 50-year history. I don't really want to highlight individual cases, but all the information is available on those links. And needless to say, a lot of the deaths, especially the deaths, are extremely, extremely suspicious. And I'm not suggesting that Scientology has actually actively murdered anyone, but their negligence in a lot of cases has been enough to cause the deaths of a lot of people. That's basically it, really. I know you're an intelligent person and you're able to view everything critically, so I do want you to go and get Scientology side of the story as well. You can see their channel here on YouTube, or you can go to their website, Scientology.org, see what they have to say, and come to these websites that I've given you and see what we've got to say. All of our testimony comes from ex-members, all of our documents come from ex-members, and yeah, the picture it paints is not very pretty, but it's something that we're working on getting changed. Thanks very much for your time. I hope you do eventually see this, and it's not just this isn't just a PR managed account or whatever, but yeah, good luck on your next movie, and hope to hear back from you. See ya.